Hey there! In this video I will tell you about our business from inside. We will talk about how to develop a virtual reality game and how much does it cost.
Honestly, or like for recording?
I want to introduce you our CTO, co-founder and big boss.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Igor. So this is our office here. We are developing our content, our VR games here, and I want to ask you first how the whole process goes. What do we need to create a game?
Wow, pretty wide question, I would say. I think everything starts with business idea, like what we need to develop. Is it player versus player game or player versus environment? How many players? We need some, I would say, like variables from the business that we have to define on the first stage. After, we are trying to select the type of the game. Like it will be a space battle, maybe like some realism or military shooter.
Some environment.
Yeah, like some environment. And it starts with design doc, where we describe like what inspires us, what references we have. And this is a big doc that we put like in the notion that usually we use. Based on that notion, we detect game assets that we are going to use. It's like actual game environment. Next stage is like a very early prototyping phase. We develop use just simple geometry like cubes, only plane areas, nothing else. And you can just play in this game and we get a better understanding of the mechanics that we. And each phase took like a month, prototyping like 3 months. It again depends on the game. Prototyping takes up to 4 months, I can say. After designing phase, I think the most complex one. It's when we make like from plain walls, plain floor, something that looks beautiful, like the actual design. It's not like a gray wall, but you can see a blood on it, or bridges on it, or some light. We set up a light. It's very complex stuff. Now we have a prototype finished, like design phase finished, half a year spent, and thousands of US dollars spent too. Next, we do like a actual test on people. Have a form where collect all feedback, like what do you like, what you didn't like, what's the most interesting part in this game, what is the most boring. Also, we have analytics data, how much time we spent on this phase of the game, how much time on that, what's the average duration on the game. So we have all these forms, feedback from our clients, and we have all this analytics data. After that, we started a endless iteration process of improving the game to get the duration of the game that we actually need. Fix boring phases we would like to improve to. Fix the light, because some things like they don't see something here, or they don't see monster from this part of the game. This process can take endlessly. Why? Because we continuously improving our games. For some old games we start maintaining and support, because sometimes it's easier to write a new game than to maintain the old one. We have like our Shmuta, for example, kernel, it's endlessly improving. For example, Shmuta, we have been working on that like a
few years already.
3 years, I think, on years. So we making new content, new maps, new guns, new mechanics, new skins.
Upgrades.
All of that we are working endlessly. So actually, like something like that.
Right now we are at one of our first VR arenas, which is near our office. Tell me what is special about this arena.
As you said, it's one of our first arenas, and we use it a lot for our testing, because not a lot of issues you can reproduce like on the office. Like we have a limited capacity in the office to test like up to 4 players max. Here we do actual testing up to 20 players. We trying to find the corner cases, the stability, the performance. This is where we do actual testing. Finding the most common issues, fixing them, and only after that we are sharing with build and new games to our other partners around the world, who next stage they are testing it too, because it depends on the location, how far from the server, for example, licensing one, some new issues may appear as well. So we do testing, provide their feedback about our games. Only based on the feedback from all our clients around the world, we adjust the game, scenarios, phases, and make another version.
Tell for our viewers who don't know, what's the difference between VR Arena, how we call it, and VR Zone?
Usually people call VR Zone like a standalone games, like it's a pretty limited space where you can just step one forward, stand one back, usually on the cable with HTC Vive, and they like play single-player games. VR arenas, it's a big space where people can actually walk wearing VR glasses around the space, and they're actually playing in one game. I can see you where you are standing, but your VR avatar actually. I can heal you putting hand on your chair, I don't know, so, and I can shoot actually you, and this is the main difference.
But still, creating a game, it's you need to add a lot of creativity in there. When it's all about creativity, it might be about chaos, So what can you say about that? Is it always going on plan, about the timelines, deadlines, and stuff like that?
Making games isn't the same as making pizzas. I don't know any popular game that released within deadline. For example, new guitar, upcoming release is coming up, and they postponed it like 3 times already.
Hey, they just put the deadline somewhere far away.
This is gonna take forever.
Yeah, because you can't control it, because it's, as you said, it's creativity, and if we make something, we test it, and probably we won't like it, and it's okay to change. We have to step back, change something again, and test again. So yeah, there is no guarantee at all.
So basically this happens all the time.
All the time. It's a part of the process.
Okay, you said that we are working on some games for a few years constantly, but still, how much time does it take to develop one game? Answer me honestly.
There you go.
You the man.
It depends a lot. Depends on the game again. We have different games like childish game for kids, we have a shmooter with player versus player, we have a PvE, and usually player versus environment, play against the computer, it takes longer time because we have to add more mechanics in each game, like game phases, and each game phase has to be tested, designed, developed. In terms of player versus player, it's much easier because like we make just one mechanic, kill another person, but still player versus player in terms of game design is much more complex process. For example, kernel, if we talk about it, we have to develop it from the scratch. It uses, as you know, it has high quality graphics, and we invest a lot of time and effort in it to achieve this level of the graphics. In that case, we spend huge amount of time to make it happen because it's like something new on the market. Roughly to say, I can tell you that there is no way to make a game in less than a year.
What about our competitors? How our games are different from those?
First of all, I think we cover like games for all ages. We start from the kids. We have a set of games that allow for small kids because complex mechanics and VR is difficult for them. So that's why we are making games with pretty simple, using simple mechanics. Second, like not everyone likes to shoot each other. Some of the competitors have only player versus player, like only competitive mode. We realized that it's still limited audience. It's a huge one, but limited. We offer another type of experience where people can play as a team against computer, and so we can feel this team spirit, like their whole team. It's very popular for team building. Another thing, like for example this one arena, you see actually there are 2 arenas. Some of the competitors have only one type of game that's used for whole space. But we realize it's difficult to find and book all clients for up to 20 players who will play one game. That's why we created a separate mode, I think I can call it, like where you can separate your arena and players will play not in one game but in 2 separate. For example, 5 or 10 players will play this one, it's one of group of people. Another is a team building and they can play at the same time. They don't want to play with each other, they want to play different games.
If it's 2 families are coming and they want to play different games, they can...
Right.
Okay.
And we can combine in one, it's okay. So if you have a big group of people, we can combine this arena in one and they will play like one huge shmooter game.
Okay, so basically, as I understood, I could be on the first floor, you could be on the other floor of the even other building. We could stay physically like that, but in the game your avatar will be right there for me. How can we not to bump into each other? How can we avoid that?
We invest a lot of time in safety.
There you go.
We show like a obstacle, like a physical one, so you actually don't forget that there are people around you. So we also do a lot of stuff to increase safety. For example, game design. VR headset has a limited point of view, like I think it's called. Like you don't see a lot like in real life, like your eye. And that's why you can't make obstacles or like walls like on 90 degrees because it's not safety, because we can bump into each other when we are coming. That's why we are making low walls to increase safety. Another thing, we do the same obstacles like in real life, and they are one-on-one, so you can be safe. Also, we have some like space here, so because people run pretty fast. If you go into wall or with we detect some weird behavior like running or moving with your back, we decrease the brightness of the headset to show the warning, please don't do that. And if you're doing it too fast, game automatically put on pause.
Some of our competitors were saying that we have poor graphics.
I can't say that we have a poor quality. Two terms, like a poor quality and cartoon quality. Our shmuta game is designed that way, so it looks like, because it's a game that can children even play. We don't have a realism because no one wanna see like blood on the body after bullet holes, a lot of blood on the floor, and because it's too realism, it's too scary, and not everyone wanna play that kind of game. Shmuta is like a childish game, like there is a lot of animation, cartoonish characters, and you feel a lot of fun even while you're shooting your friends. But in terms of kernel, like what's actually challenge and why it's so difficult to develop a high quality with our existing flow, how we make games. All competitors right now using the same flow. No one uses PCs anymore or streaming. Standalone headset is a standard of the VR arenas market right now. Why it's so? Because like you have a PC like that renders graphic with some streaming. Actually, it's like a Steam VR, like or any other software. Only after that you actually show like a graphics on some headsets. I don't want to write any specific name because headset can be any. You can, with flow, you can render on Oculus Quest as well, but you just don't use the full power of the headsets. How it works right now, so we have a server like synchronize all clients.
Just combining all the devices together.
Yeah, and we have headset, or like another one headsets. It's all headsets that our clients wear. And we just synchronize with the server to get new data where everyone. And the thing is that game installed and rendered within like headsets. It's again very difficult to develop optimized game, and that's why all competitors say about that, because the same level of graphics like achieve in this flow, like number one, it's 2 times easier than number 2.
What I saw, Shmuter is not a poor graphics, because if we look at the resolution, it's basically like the same. It's about different environment. It's just made in a cartoonish style. But the kernel, our new game which we just developed, like I haven't heard anything from the competitors, anything about graphics.
Because they can't say anything.
They can say anything. We don't have like, I haven't seen anything in the world of these high quality graphics, and it is all rendered again by the headset, not the PC.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those guys who are developing these games exactly. So how many software engineers do we have in our team?
We are pretty small company and team, but all our engineers are senior one, almost fully distributed team. Like our engineers based in Turkey, in Cyprus, in Thailand. We have game lead designer who is responsible for all like environment, actual design, level design, and ideas for our next games. We also have tech support, 3 engineers right now, I think, who is responsible for communicating with our clients and assisting them in installation, demo, first launches, and etc. And I think basically that's all. We spent a lot of resources on communicating with third-party game designers to buy their actual work because of the environment, because it takes ages to develop like a building or a car in VR, in 3D. In that case, that's why we are trying to buy a lot of ready-to-use assets that we can reuse in our games. Of course, not like a plug and play. It requires a ton of time to adjust and tune it to actually integrate it in the game. How many freelancers we are using? I think it's 10 plus, like artists and 3D designers who actually developing models for of our games.
So by the way, guys, if you want to know more about story of our company, our first games and how we started this business, don't forget to subscribe, put some thumbs up, and I will get to know to shoot a special video for you. Let's go to the equipment and show what kind of headsets we are using at this exact location.
Actually, this is our standard headsets that we're using right now. It's Oculus Quest 2. Oculus Quest 3 released, but still our clients have ton of Oculus Quest 2 and there is no reason to update. If some of them broke, we buy a new one, Oculus Quest 3, and they can combine them in one game. But what I can say about Oculus Quest? Pretty standard inside-out tracking system that use cameras to detect where the position of the players. So they use these cameras, they find like a contrast points, and depends on the changes of the images, they can understand how you move your headset and where you moved. It has some third-party like Bobo VR, like it's like a cooler. This is a power bank that allows you to increase the number that headset can play without charge.
Those cameras you mentioned in this tracking, this is why we have all these lines on the floor and on the walls, right?
Yeah, so this headset trying to detect the most contrast points, and our design arenas designed that way that there are a lot of them. It helps the headset with using inside-out tracking system to properly detect its position. And that's why we are so strict and ask our partners to make design as we plan it.
And is that enforced by law?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Because from our expertise and our experience, it gives you the most stable tracking system. This is sticks for headsets, and the question is how we're actually tracking inside the headset, because we don't see any patterns there, we don't see any cameras. But how it works? It works just in different light system. So actually there are lights, but our eye can detect it. It emits lights in different frequencies, and we can see it, but these cameras can.
You mentioned that we are using Oculus Quest 2, but the third version of this headset released recently. So what can you say about this new headset?
It's one of the best devices on the market right now. The quality of the graphics is doubled, like battery life increased. For example, here you feel like it's pretty heavy, and if you feel a lot of pressure on your face and you can't wear it a lot for a long period of time. Oculus Quest 3 is fixed, it's much lighter and it's more balanced, so you don't feel a lot of pressure and weight on your face.
Back to our games, right now we have, how many, 11 titles in the library?
I think near, so it's difficult to count
12,
because
yeah, all
enough
the
fingers.
Okay, yeah, but our company is 5 years old, so we made more than 2 games a year, so we are kind of...
Yeah, but it depends, like even you can put like more engineers in one game, it still can be developed faster, because its process can be like paralleled in some cases.
That was my next question. Is it possible, if we add more software engineers, is it possible to create one game faster?
In 1 month.
In 1 month, in 1 week?
10 minutes.
Definitely not, because like, as I said, it has some phases that blocked one by one, and we go step by step. Some of the tasks definitely can be like, for example, kernel. We have like 4 guns, and right now we are extending to adding more guns. One developer can add more guns, another one developing a map. So this can be parallel, but when we are working on one map, one developer and game designer have one vision how he wants to do it, another one had another one, and it's difficult to combine them and work on one task.
The last question here about the games. You mentioned that we have a lot of environments, like we have game in space, on a spaceship.
A lot of space.
Space, wanna go to space.
What if, I will tell you that, we have enormous budget, like as much money as you want, what game would you develop? What game would you like to do?
Honestly, or like for recording?
Honestly.
All games that we've developed for all these years, I really enjoyed this process and I really enjoy playing them. Like probably first 100 times. It's like zombies. Everyone like to see emotions, how people scream.
What the fuck is going on?
Or in another game, why we have so many space theme games? Because I like space theme. I don't want to play like There is a popular game where you can cook something.
Yeah.
Cook or
Yeah, I know that.
fix after repairing, do some after repairing job. I don't like that because I can do it in real life. We are trying to make games that people can get in real life. If I have unlimited budget and I will be the one to make decisions, I would develop one more in true realistic graphics.
Tell me about development of the games. What was the biggest problem in the development? Or which game was the most pain in the part of the body?
I think the most complex task is to build a team that is capable of doing that. And I think the team that we have is one of the most experienced in this area right now. And it was difficult to build them because no one of them had experience before, like this 5 years ago. Like we started like a new company, new expertise, and for these 5 years we got ton of the expertise in this area. And we have our team right from the beginning, and I think this is the thing that allow us to make high quality games. Second thing is, I can't stop repeating, it's optimization. And that we spend ton of the time, like to allow a run and measure like number of frames per second, and we spend a fortune of time on that. I think this is the most challenging part in our job right now.
This is one of our developers, Pavel, and let's ask him some questions. Pasha, hello. Tell me, what programming languages do you use? What engine do we use for our games? And what kind of frameworks?
C#, Unity. We are also using some other languages for our web services, but mainly C#.
Okay, I think that's the end of the interview. Bye-bye. Tell me, what is your specialization? Like, what do you do exactly, and what part of the developing is your responsibility?
Okay, I am a first employer here. I have started from any activity here. So I developed first game, first prototype. Eventually, I started concentrate on infrastructure, licensing, collaboration issues, web services.
So you're not developing the games by itself right now, so you're doing the infrastructure.
I am not develop new games, but sometimes frequently I fix some issues in games, add new features. So I'm responsible for architecture, for core features regarding game design issues. So I'm more system guy.
Okay, but still, you was the one who developed our very first game, right?
Yeah, but it was not actually the first game, it was the first prototype which we are using to show on a conference. It was a game of multiple games actually, so it was multiple activities inside this game. As you remember, it was a shooter, a quest, an experience.
Different environment
Yes,
in there.
different environments. And the next game we developed actually by 2. Now we have actually 5 developers. But now, yes, I am more concentrate on system issues, system features, core features.
Okay, you're a game developer, even though that you are more concentrated right now on the infrastructure. But what about yourself? Do you like to play games? Because I think that a lot of people, they think that the game developers, what they do is 24/7, they play every game.
I'm not sure about any game developer. I am not actually playing. Always looks like I'm trying to reproduce some issue, and it's very hard in VR. I'm not playing.
You're searching bugs. I want to tell you that this short demonstration, let's call it not a game, it was demo prototype, 2-minute demo, which we went to the conference and people liked it so much that we got 2 partners even before we got the full game. Yes, so people liked this prototype so much that we got our first partners. Thank you for that. I know that people might be too active and too immersed into the game. So how often do they break stuff? Do they break headset or some other parts?
It would be alive, I say it, none of the cases. Sometimes it happen, but pretty rarely I can say why it's so. As I said, because of our game design, safety first. Like when we make a game, first we think about safety. Like it's when we do obstacles, when we put portals or elevators, we have to design the same way that people can see other players. But how often do you bump into each other in real life when you play laser tag or any other games?
Might be.
It might happen because people like feel like they're too competitive. I want to win and move too fast and not too careful. It sometimes may happen in VR headset as well. But we are doing our best to avoid these things on the game design.
I remember that with our first game, Safe Night, there was a story that at one of our locations, people were so afraid of a zombie elephant that they ran into each other, and one of them not broke nose, but he was a little bit bleeding, but not breaking nose, but the headset was fine.
Yeah. For example, about cave case, what we decided to do, like when the elephant came like in the face, it started running on you and you're trying to avoid. And this guy, I think he bumped in the wall, not another person, maybe. But now we show like the limits of the arena during the elephant phase. It shows you don't need to run from that. You can't run because there is the actual wall. And these boundaries appear like until end of the this phase.
Our content is so realistic, so that the zombie elephant is coming to you. No boundaries, no limits.
But we have to keep the balance.
Yes, of course.
And another case, like a zombie game is Safe Night, where zombies like getting from the ground to you. I saw like one of the customers thought that there is an actual hole in the ground, and he decided to punch a zombie like, and he punched the ground with his hand. But the only thing it was his hand.
No. Wait.
As you saw from this video, we are trying to provide the best experience for our players and customers. And today we showed you the little part of our team, our software engineers who are developing this product. And we are trying to keep the best professionals on the market to make the best product as possible. If you like this video, put the thumbs up and ask your questions in the comments. What do you like to know more about another world company? So see you in the next videos. Bye!